I'll just wait for a few more people to join. Okay, hello everyone and welcome back to another week of yoga. If you're new to our yoga sessions, my name is Emily. I'm from the Fertility Network team, and I'll just go through our usual disclaimers before I pass over to our instructor, Annie. Please remember that when practicing yoga online, it's up to the individual to assess whether they are ready for the class they've chosen, in this case, yoga. If you suffer from specific injuries or disease, it's best to consult with your doctor first. Practice of yoga requires you to gauge the safety of your practice within your own limitations. And remember, it's better to build up slowly rather than to force a strain. And while you should feel some exertion, you should also feel relaxed. Techniques and suggestions presented in this webinar are not intended to substitute for proper medical advice. You should always consult with your doctor first before you start a new exercise program. Both Fertility Network UK and Annie Perry assume no responsibility for any injuries suffered while practicing these techniques. I can just see in the chat here. I will leave that to you, Annie, if that's okay.
Yeah, there's usually always a few questions, Emily. Let me
okay.
have a look. It might be
I'll just close by saying if you enjoy the sessions, if you would like more, do let us know and leave us any feedback. We love to see it. So I will pass over to you, Annie. Thank you.
Thanks, Emily. Thank you. Hi, everybody. I'll just quickly address this little question. I always go over these wee kind of guidances anyway, but it's just about the 2-week wait. So it's absolutely fine during the 2-week wait, but we do have different type of postures we would do in the first half of this cycle versus the second half of your menstrual cycle. If you're going through assisted reproductive technology and you've gone down the IVF route, I always say about 48 hours post transfer and also post retrieval to not do the yoga postures, okay? So don't worry that, you're more than welcome, but it pretty much gets asked every week. People are concerned, and my only kind of hard and fast rules are 48 hours post retrieval, 48 hours post transfer, and then I do have rules on menstruation. So if you're menstruating, you really have to respect that energy that's going on in the body. So I'll give you cues for that. So the sequence I've designed is slightly more tailored towards first half of the cycle tonight, but I do have alternatives for ladies who are post-ovulation, okay? So I will give you those cues. I hope everyone's well and welcome if it's your first week. I always forget there's people joining because I feel like there's so many of you have been coming that it's kind of the same people every week, and I always forget to say welcome to the new ladies. So I hope everyone's all right. I try to look for questions, but it's hard when I'm actually in the act of teaching class, okay? So I hope that's all the questions. I hope everyone's okay. We are going to do a nice practice tonight, and at the end I'm going to teach you a breathing technique called alternate nostril breathing, and it is so calming. So what we're trying to do with fertility yoga is really tap into the parasympathetic side of your nervous system. So we're really trying to get you out of that kind of go energy we're all guilty of, believe me. Doing too much, go. If you're going through a particularly stressful time at the moment, that can really begin to affect that energy too. So we're really trying to tap into the rest and digest side of your nervous system. So this breathing technique that we'll do at the end of class during your relaxation is brilliant for that, okay? So I saw another question pop up and I'll just have a quick look. That question, Natalie, right, okay, yeah, I think you're okay. I'm just trying to think through my class plan in terms of prolapse. I'm really sorry about your loss. I'm really sorry about that. So I think we're okay tonight for all the postures. I would say anything that puts pressure on the pelvic floor wouldn't be good. So we are going to do squats tonight, so definitely no, but I'll bear you in mind, okay? So really, it is gentle yoga, but you should be fine, but no deep squats, nothing that puts pressure on the pelvic floor. That's us good to go. Right, let's get started. All right, so, oh, thanks, Andrea. I'm glad you're back. Right, so we're going to start in Sukhasana, which is our easy pose. Okay, we either tend to always either start in this position or lying on our back, but it's a slightly more energized session tonight, only because it's more suited to like first half of the cycle, in terms of like you've finished menstruating and you're getting that gradual build up to ovulation. Okay, but listen to your body at all stages through the class. Listen to your energy levels, just really respecting your body. Okay, so easy pose. Okay, so when everything's really mindful in yoga. Okay, we think about everything we do in terms of every position we're in. So even with the likes of easy pose or legs in a basket, you have to sort of really think about that. Okay, so we don't want the legs too locked in. So as I look down, I'm looking at a triangle. I can see the floor. 1 foot under one calf, 1 foot under the other. We really want to be feeling a motion of bringing the knees towards the floor at the same time as lifting up with the hips. Okay, as we do that, that really helps to lengthen through the spine. And this is where you realize you've not straightened your back all day. That's how I feel anyway. So lift and lengthen through the hips, lift through the spine, open through the chest, hands placed onto the knees. So even the act of where we place the hands is something to think about. So if you're feeling the need to be grounded, your hands will naturally sort of gravitate to palms down on your knees. If you're feeling a bit more open and receptive, perhaps you want to turn the palms up, fingers lightly curled. We want to just draw the elbows in ever so slightly. We're not locking them in, but we're not having them away out to the side, okay? And then I definitely want you to close your eyes. This is time to almost set our intentions for our practice tonight, okay? So we do that by closing our eyes and tuning in to the breath moving in and out the body. So we do want you to deepen the breath, but not yet. I just want you to notice the breath in the body and how you feel tonight. Notice any emotions that are kind of there. Perhaps they were quite forefront of your mind, or perhaps they're starting to bubble up now that you're sitting quietly. Check in with the mind and what it's doing. Is it that, but we call it monkey mind, you know, those chattering monkeys? Is it doing that? It's probably likely, but what we want to try and do is move those thoughts to the back of the mind. Sometimes it can help to visualize your mind as a sky on a clear day, but with clouds moving across it. So there's a slight wind and the thoughts come and go. They just pass over the mind. What's important is we don't enter dialogue with them. Okay, so we're going to begin to deepen the breath, take our energies and our direction of the breath down into your belly. So if it helps with that, you can move your hands from your knees onto your belly. If you want to as well, you can give a rub onto the lower belly. Really connecting with that area of the body. I'm beginning to almost draw the breath deeper down there. So with the hands there, feeling them rise and fall. Deep belly breath. Should begin to almost hear a lovely sound with the breath. So it's in and out through the nose. And you can start to sort of lock in and really notice the rhythm of the breath. If you kind of help, sometimes it can be hard to maintain your focus. So noticing the sound of the breath can really help can be like waves on the ocean, waves on the seafloor, just moving in and out. Okay, so if you have your hands on your belly, then just take one there and bring the other one over your heart. Okay, so place the other hand. So I've got right hand on belly, left hand on the heart. And now we're shifting focus a little bit into the heart center. And just the simple act of bringing your hand there. And you want to really start to visualize energy flow in the body, okay? Really, you can start to be really sensitive to that through doing fertility yoga. You can start to sense energies in the womb. And we're trying to just focus energies moving up and down from the heart to the womb space. Okay, so now we can open our eyes, okay? Just bring the hands back onto your knees. We're sort of opening your eyes and adjusting to the light level in your room, adjusting to your little yoga space again. And we're going to move and keep moving now, okay? So we're moving into like the more physical part of our practice, but we're keeping that real sensation of meditation that we just had by sitting for those few minutes. So we're trying to keep that going, okay? So let's bring our hands onto our shoulders and we're going to do, this is called like a wee chicken wing stretch. So hands onto shoulders and just draw the elbows up towards the ceiling and rotate them round. Focusing in on the breath as well. So notice the rhythm of the breath. Notice the breath, moving in and out. Go forward with those circles as well. Okay, then release those hands down and bring them slightly behind your body with the fingers pointing forward. You can't really see my hands, but I've got them like pointing forward just behind my back. I'm going to push into the mat, lift up with the pelvis. Now we can get a little tilt going in the pelvis here. So we're really driving down through the sit bones, sending the belly forward, sending the breastbone forward, and take your gaze up towards your ceiling and take your chin up too. So we're really using the hands in the floor to help with that, pushing down. Okay, back into center. Now we're going to, if you can, don't worry if you can't do it like this, but we're rolling over, front ways over these crossed legs to get to an all fours position. I'm just going to move. And then we're going to move straight into child's pose, okay? I just want to really release the back first. So this is a really restorative posture. So we usually have our knees about hip width, toes together, and we take our bum down onto our heels. But I'd like you to go a little bit wider with your knees, just so that your belly and your ribs sit nicely in between the thighs, okay? So take the bum towards the heels, trying to make a connection. And then start to melt your heart towards the mat, okay? And if you can, take the forehead towards the floor. The hands reaching away out in front. So here, I want you to focus on, if you can, get a connection with the forehead. Now, if you can't, and you're struggling to do both, bum on heels, forehead onto the floor, then just cross your arms over, see if that helps, see if you can connect the forehead. If you're still a wee bit too far away, bring a couple of cushions out in front and lift, use that to connect the forehead. I really want the forehead to make a connection with something, okay? We want a little bit of pressure on the forehead to really encourage us into that rest and digest side of our nervous system. Check in with your back here, check in with how the vertebrae of the spine are feeling, How does the pelvis feel in this position even? Can feel quite tight sometimes. So this is a good position to start doing this check in with the body, checking in with the energy levels. Oh, guys, right. Can somebody write a message to say that they can hear me? Right. Right, now I'm seeing. And then I lost everybody. Right, all these messages are coming through. Right, that's me back twice. Oh, that's good. All these messages keep bumping up, but I don't know, it's because I got back in and then. Right. Oh my God, guys. Let's get back to it, I guess. Do you know what it is? See here, I'm just outside Glasgow. It is like bucketing down, like absolutely bucketing down. I'm wondering that's it. Sorry, guys. I know, imagine, who said that, Sarah? Imagine I didn't notice an hour in the zone. Yeah. Okay, guys. So we're moving, so don't worry, I'll move a lot, I'll let the session run over, okay? Right. Table pose. Oh, do you know what? I can't relax. What if it does it again? It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Right. See, this is why, like, webinar format, like, if it was my ladies in Zoom, they would just be like, be able to, well, they wouldn't be able to tell me, wouldn't they not? Right. Cat and cow. Back to table pose. So we were in child's pose. What we're trying to get you to do is notice your spine and notice how your pelvis is feeling. So we're doing that now, okay? So tops of the feet connected, toes pointing down, and I want you to dip down with your navel towards the floor, okay? And just have a little sway side to side. So that wouldn't be maybe like traditional yoga, like moving your hips like this, but I definitely believe as women, and definitely fertility yoga, if you feel you want to move the pelvis to get it moving, to get blood flow moving, then do that. So we're dipping the navel down slightly, we're tipping the tailbone up, we're opening the heart, and we're just having a sway from side to side, okay? Then settle it back to center and curl up, chin onto chest. Take your gaze towards your navel. And if you've got the energy for it, a nice big lock of the belly button up towards the spine. And then dip down again. Okay. So keep going like that for a few breaths. So you noticing any tension in the spine? Are you noticing any tension in the pelvis? Okay. So go back to neutral and let's start some circles with the whole body now. So we're staying with the hands and the knees as they are, and we're just rotating round. Okay, like body, the spine's quite straight now and it's parallel to the floor, and we're just shifting round in a circle. So the whole body's like moving around the floor like a big circle. Okay, back to neutral. Let's get our hips moving even more, okay? Leg circles. Take the left foot off, left knee and left foot off the mat. Flex the foot and begin circling with the knee. So you should have a slight shift of weight now onto the right side of your body, because obviously we've taken the knee up. So just try and keep yourself balanced and really just focus your attention into the hip joint. Okay, knee down, over to the other side. Flex the foot. Don't worry if you did. I'm onto the right side, but it doesn't matter what you do first. Okay, then back to all fours. We're moving to down dog, okay? So if you're on your period and it's sort of heavy bleed days, first couple of days, just go right back down into a child's pose just now. When we come up to down dog, if you could keep a big bend in your knee for me, please, when we come up, okay? So hands, fingers are lovely and spread, okay? Good spread in the fingers. Tuck the toes under, lift up with the pelvis. So I'm just keeping a nice big soft bend in my knees, okay? So don't worry about straightening the legs yet. Let's focus on moving the chest towards the thighs, okay? So push the weight back from your wrists. So we're really opening through the chest. Then I want you to focus on the pelvis, okay? So really just do not worry about these legs going straight, okay? Tilt the pelvis up a little bit towards the ceiling. And then you could maybe extend the heels towards the ground a little and straighten the legs. But that's the last thing. I really want this to release the pelvis. Okay, down to all fours, then down to child's pose again. So we're joining the ladies, if there is any, who are menstruating. So you're back to child's pose, you're back to that hug of the ribs in between the thighs, okay? So feeling the ribs open and push onto the thighs and then move back, okay? Okay, from child's pose, come up to all fours, take just the right foot forward, step it in between your hands. So you're framing out that foot with hands either side, okay? Oh, sorry if I'm banging my mic. Okay, so sliding back with that left leg and the front knee just about above the ankle, perhaps just slightly moving forward, okay? So we're opening up through the hips, okay? Just gonna stay here for a couple of breaths, really opening through the hips, sinking down. Then we're gonna start to walk back with the hands along the floor as we straighten the front leg. So just into a nice straight front leg, but keep the hands on the floor if you can, and you're kind of just folding over that straight leg. And then come back into your lunge. Okay, if you want a little bit more here, we can take the hands off the mat and lift them up, place them onto the knees. So we're shifting our weight up and we're feeling the weight of our torso now sort of sink into the hips. So it's really giving a little bit more gentle pressure. If you want a little more, first half of the cycle maybe, take your left hand to the outside of your right thigh, right hand just onto your hip and gaze over the right shoulder. Okay, back to, if you weren't doing the twist, you're just back to, if you were doing the twist, sorry, you're just joining everybody else in the normal lunge. We're moving back to down dog now. So you can either just take the foot back into table and go from there, or you can just go straight from your lunge to down dog. Feel it would be nice to sway the hips from side to side in your down dog. Then you can do that too. Knees to the floor. Left foot forward. Lunge, low lunge on this side. Okay, walk your hands back, straighten your leg. If your hands are on the floor, we're almost having a little forward fold over the front leg. Sink back down to lunge. Lift the hands up onto the knee. If you want to add a twist, first half of cycle twist, right hand outside, left hand just onto your hip. Breathing deeply. And back to down dog. So remember, no down dog. If you're on your period, just go down to child's pose. Every time we do a down dog, go to child's pose. Drop down with the knees. Moving into a pigeon pose next, okay? Make sure you've got a little cushion handy if you're feeling you need it. But you might not, okay? So what did we do first with our, we did right forward. So let's go right knee forward. So take your right knee. So it's not the right foot, it's the right knee now, drawing up in between the hands. So the hands are framing that knee now. Then you're going to wiggle your right foot out from underneath, okay? So keep your right hand on the floor to steady you, because you're not coming down to sit on your right butt cheek. That's up. Lengthen the left leg all the way down and take the right foot out as much as you can, okay? We don't want sharpness or risk of injury. We only draw that foot out as much as it allows. If you need, so we really don't want this right bum to come down, okay? But if you're struggling with that and you think, oh God, no, I can't do that on my own, that's where you grab a cushion and you pop it underneath your bum, and that helps you, a cushion or two, okay? Now I want you to really focus on the torso, okay? So pushing into the floor, lifting up with the heart. So taking the heart space forward, relax the shoulders down, take your gaze up. Okay, so really sending the chest forward. So we should be feeling an achy stretch into the glutes. Really helping getting blood flow going here. Okay, and then we're moving either back to child's pose or back to down dog, okay? So pushing in with the hands lifting up, or you can transition from tabletop pose up to your pigeon, your down dog. Sorry, guys. Okay, knees down. Pigeon on the other side, guys, okay? So left knee in between, Taking the foot out. Remember to keep that bum high. Take the right leg as straight. So sometimes even before I sort of settle into the posture, just tuck my toes under of the straight leg at the back and just lift the knee up to almost reach it a little bit further away, and then untuck it and bring the top of the foot onto the mat. Okay, you can do lots of things in pigeon. Okay, you can do folding forward from here. You can do twists, but I just thought we would keep it nice and simple tonight. We're really just focusing on a heart opener here. So it's all going on in the hips, obviously, but we can add a real sense of the heart moving forward. So shoulder blades drawing together, shoulders nice and relaxed, heart space coming forward. Okay, and then back to downward facing dog. So you either transition to table or come up, or transition to child's pose. Okay, so from here, we're going to start to, instead of doing what we were doing, we're going to come to standing postures. Okay, so we're going to walk up with the foot to the hands. Okay, we're just hanging out here in a nice standing forward fold. So feet at about hip width apart. There's a nice softness in the knees. You can bend your knees if you want, but we're trying to almost lengthen the back of the legs. So we're trying to lengthen the hamstrings at the knees and up into the hips. Okay, so just hang out. We're not putting a massive amount of pressure here, but this is so good for that parasympathetic side of the nervous system, all that blood flow coming into the head, and it's also just really good for releasing blood flow through the pelvis. Sometimes I like to have a wee bend of one knee and a straighten of the other, a little sway side to side with the hips. And then let's roll it up. So we're now in a standing position. Okay. Is everybody okay? Right, cool. Everyone's fine. Right, so I'm going to have a sip of water. Okay. I feel like I'm calming down a little bit. Looks like the power might be okay. Okay, so we are going to do chair pose now, okay? So quite a strong one into the thighs. And also for that lady that asked the question at the start with her late term miscarriage, then don't do this one. You can do it a tiny bit, but not like, it's like you're sitting in a chair, okay? So you're sitting like this. Just bend your knees like this, so you're not feeling any pressure on your pelvic floor at all, okay? Just focus on lengthening your spine, all right? Everybody else, you can go a little bit deeper, all right? So feet about hip width apart. We're just going to take our hands over our heart tonight. Sometimes we lift them up above our head, but we're just placing them over our heart, and we're bending the knees, and we're driving down through the heels, and we are keeping our thighs strong, and we're breathing deeply. Trying to round down with the shoulders, making sure that they're not inviting tension into them. Okay, lift up to standing, fold forward again. So keep those hands over your heart, fold over, and then as you get about halfway, bring the hands apart and towards the floor. Drop your head, gaze between your legs, breathing deeply. Okay, rolling up to standing, straight back down to chair. Okay, so into chair again. So a little addition for our chair is a little twist. Obviously, not really for the second half of the cycle, more for the first. So if your second half, stay as you are. If your first half, take your left elbow onto your right knee and gaze up. Use your breath. This is an uncomfortable posture. Into center if you're doing the twist. Over to the other side. But it's uncomfortable. It's strong into the thighs, but it gets blood flow pumping into the thighs. And then when we release it, we get a nice surge of blood flow through to the pelvis. Into center if you're doing the twist to join everyone else. And lift up. We'll just take a breath before we do forward fold, okay? Because that is strong into the thighs, isn't it? Okay, now we're going to have a forward fold again. Exhale, tilting the pelvis, folding forward. Release the hands down. If they're just hanging out in midair, then that's fine by me. Okay, uncurl up. All right, so another one that's good into the thighs, a goddess squat, malasana. So again, that lady with the, I forget your name, sorry, don't do this one, okay? So we're going to take our feet wider than hip width, okay? And we're going to do, sometimes we do a squat where we take our thighs sort of parallel to about here. But I want to go a little deeper, okay? I want to try and go all the way down if we can. But if you think, oh God, no way, just stop where comfortable. Or if you want to go all the way down, but you just feel that you couldn't maybe kind of trust it, if that makes sense, stack up cushions like this, okay? I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to take my feet to 45. I'm going to take my hands over my heart, and then I'm going to sink down. So knees are nice and wide. I'm going to sink down. And then I'm sort of sitting onto these cushions, and it's pretty comfy actually, popping my elbows in between, and I can really focus on drawing the knees wide and working in to the groin, okay? If you felt you wanted to come all the way down, I'll show you what I mean without cushions. You're just coming down like this. And you can have even a little rock side to side. It's strong into the groin and the hips, but it's really good for releasing things that are going on there with tension in the hips. Okay, hands down and folding up. So take the knees up, take the knees straight, and just have a gentle forward fold from there, okay? Nothing too deep folded over. I'm just taking my back so that it's kind of like I'm sort of looking at the floor. Hands are on the floor. I'm just releasing all that blood flow. Okay, nice deep breaths. Okay, rolling up. Okay, so we're going to come back towards the floor and we're going to do some prone postures, okay? So if you are second half of the cycle, I'm going to give you something else, right? Okay, so I want to do quite a few forward folds for ladies for first half of this, quite a few prone postures for first half of the cycle, okay? If your second half, you're going to do, so I'm going to do 3, let me explain. So I'm going to do 3 postures on the tummy, cobra, bow pose and locust, okay? So we're going to be, so the ladies in the first half of the cycle are going to be doing those 3 postures, so 3 postures, okay? So I'll give the ladies in the second half 3 postures from seated, right? That makes sense. So let me show you the second half of the cycle forward folds. So you're going to do a nice wide leg one, like this. You can make it nice and restorative if you want with cushions, okay? So you're going to really widen the legs, lift and lengthen the torso and fold forward, okay? So that will see you through my first posture. I'm showing the second half. Then you're going to keep one leg nice and straight out to the side, and you're going to bend the other leg, and you're going to, instead of folding forward, you're going to sort of turn yourself and you're going to fold over the straight leg. That's number 2. Then you do the other side. That's number 3. Does that make sense? Okay. I want to give stuff that's suitable for everybody. All right. So second half of the cycle, ladies, are going to do forward folds, all right? Wide leg forward fold, then head to knee pose each side. First half of the cycle, ladies, nice cobra, okay? So fingers are spread. You're coming into a kind of tabletop, and then you're going to sort of drop the hips down so that you get to about the pubic bone, okay? So it's quite a strong lower back stretch. So really pushing down with the pubic bone, relaxing the shoulders, chest open, gazing up. And then you've just got to start to fold yourself down. So bending the elbows, taking yourself down. Okay. So ladies who are doing the forward folds, finish your wide leg forward fold, bend your right leg, and start to fold yourself over the straight left leg. Okay. So now, first half of the cycle, ladies, you're going to bend your heels, bend your knees, take your heels in towards your bum, and you're going to, if you can, reach for the foot. So you take hand towards the foot, okay? This could be enough for you. Quite a lovely stretch like this. Just maybe lift the head and the shoulders and maybe a bit of the chest. If you want a little more, you can lift the thighs and the knees off the mat. Nice gentle bow pose, nothing too deep, nothing too drastic. Okay, drop down, release the hands off the feet. If you're doing the forward folds, switch legs. So you're going to bend the left leg, right leg nice and straight, okay? So ladies who are doing the prone positions with me, we're going to do locust, and we're going to add a little bit of extra stimulation into the ovaries, okay? So I forgot to say as well, if you're on stimulation drugs, these are probably not feeling very nice. So, but you're going to be listening to your body anyway. You're not going to do it any harm. Just maybe if you're a bit bloated in your tummy, so you do the forward folds, although it's a bit late now. Sorry, I should have said. Okay, so we're going to take our hands and place them onto our bellies. Okay, so hands, one on one side, one on the other. And then we're going to lift the legs up off the mat and lift the torso too. But it's a tiny little movement. We're not really doing much here, but well, we're doing a lot, but it doesn't look very much because we're not lifting up massively, but we're just adding a little bit of extra stimulation into the ovaries. Okay, dropping down. And if everybody could make their way to child's pose, okay? So lifting up and over with the hips, bum onto the heels, and breathe there. Do you know what, I've just realised I didn't share the computer sound again. So we now don't have any music. Hang on a wee minute. Okay. All right. Okay. Right, so from your child's pose, make your way up, and we're going to everybody go onto their backs, okay? So making our way slowly down, okay? So start off in a seated position. Bring the hands slightly behind and begin to just uncurl the spine down onto the mat, Okay, very slowly lowering it down. Okay, bend your knees, feet on to the floor. Okay, feet about hip width apart. Just bring your hands to sort of cup round your pelvis at either side, okay? So find the little hip bones. Starting off with some pelvic tilts. Okay, we're getting energy moving into the pelvis even more, okay? So inhale, start to curl the pelvis up. So take the sit bone up towards the ceiling. You're really sort of smoothing the back, so you're almost taking the belly button towards the floor here. A gentle push in with the feet into the mat to just help the slight lift up. And then turn the pelvis the other way, okay? So take the sacrum back down onto the mat and then uncurl it. So there should be a nice curve of the spine. And keep going. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale. Curling the other way. So you can visualize energy at the pelvic floor here. So you're working with the breath and you're sending that energy almost rocking back and forth along the pelvic floor. So from the pubic bone at the front to the tailbone at the back. Okay. Then we are going to come to bridge. All right. So we've worked the pelvis. Now the pelvis is nice and neutral again. Feet are really quite pushing into the mat here. They're hip width apart. Lift your toes up, spread them down. Bring your hands onto the floor. What we're going to try and do when we lift up the hips is clasp our hands along the floor. Okay, so push into your feet. A slight kind of squeeze of the buttocks. Bring your hands underneath and clasp them. Okay, and lift up with the hips. Okay, pushing in with the feet. Chin's tucked to the chest. Knees are directly below the hips. And then drop down slowly. And then take the knees in towards the chest. Again, if you're on stimulation drugs, that might not be a nice feeling, squeezing the thighs like that. Widen your knees, lots of room for the belly, and bring the knees back. Okay, so we're going to do another bridge. Okay, so feet coming back down. You can either do the hands like they were, clasping them, if you quite enjoyed that feeling of pushing down with the hands onto the floor to help you lift your pelvis, or if you want to do something different, you can lift the hands all the way up and above your head as you lift up with the hips. Okay, I'm not going to do that one because it makes my microphone come like so far up to my mouth that I'm probably screaming at you, so I'll just do my hands clasped again. Okay, drop back down and back to knees to chest. Okay, so from here, so remember I said for the ladies with the stimulation drugs, if there are any, bringing the knees wide. If everybody could do that now, so take your knees nice and wide, but flex your feet and take your feet towards your ceiling, so your feet are almost parallel to the ceiling. And start off by just hugging your hands behind your knees, so like on the thighs, behind your knees. drawing the knees towards the floor. Okay, it's called happy baby pose. So you're drawing the knees down. But what you can do to intensify it is bring the hands onto your feet. So you're holding on to feet with the hands, and the hands help to draw them down. Not everybody has the hip flexibility to do that, so that's fine. But hands underneath the crook of the knee is perfectly fine. Okay, we're now going to bring our feet back onto the floor. Sway your knees from side to side just to kind of release. That's quite intense into the hips. And now we're going to do a spinal twist, okay? Nice gentle one with knees bent. So if your tummy's a little sore and bloated, just do the twist from here, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to gaze towards our right, and we're going to take both knees towards the left. So you can just do it from here. But for a little bit more, you can lift the feet up off the mat, draw the knees a little bit in towards the chest, and essentially do the same thing. So we're gazing towards the right, taking the knees towards the left, but try not to roll onto your side. That's the kind of key here. Keep the right shoulder on the mat, and we're feeling a nice release through the spinal column. And it gives your kidneys and your adrenal glands a little pump of blood as well. Try and also take the top knee towards the bottom, because I know when I do it, the bottom knee is kind of a little further along, and if you try and encourage that top knee along, you get a lovely stretch into the back. Okay. Into center. Okay. And over to the other side. So I'm going to gaze towards the left. So you're just gazing along the floor, and then you're taking the knees over to the other side. Focus on your breathing. Focus on just matching up your knees. Focus on releasing any tension down the spine. And into center. Let me just check the time. I'm going to go over for you because of the power cut saga. So I'm just checking my time, and cool. Right, so I'm just going to come into fish pose, okay? So you're coming onto your back again, right? But we're not completely lying down. We're bringing ourselves up onto our elbows, okay? Straighten the legs out, okay? Then you're going to sort of just shift yourself up a little, pop one hand underneath. So it's just meeting, like the fleshy back part at the top of the bum, either side of the pelvis. So hands tucked in there. And you can make this really gentle. So this is doing it on your own. But what you can do is if you're on your period and you're just feeling, oh my God, I've no energy at all, you can build up a pile of cushions. And you can do it without needing to have your elbows on the floor. I'm just showing you the restorative ones. So pillows are coming underneath the chest, legs are nice and straight, hands are just on the floor to the side, and it's just a wonderful release into the heart space. Okay, then I'll show you it without, okay? So if you're doing it unsupported, get my cushions out of the way. We've got our hands at the fleshy part. We're drawing the elbows towards each other. We're starting to really tilt up with the pelvis opening the heart and taking our gaze behind. Okay, so a beautiful tilt of the pelvis and a beautiful heart opener. Okay, so we're going to release down. If you're doing it supported, just with cushions, stay a little longer. If you're doing it like unsupported, we're just going to release and we're going to bring our knees in towards our chest. And a few breaths. Okay. And then we're just going to everyone come up to seated. So if you're using those cushions, just get them out of the way. We'll finish up with Baddha Konasana. Okay, nice cobbler's pose. And then we'll move to our alternate nostril breathing. Okay, so bring soles of the feet together. Both sit bones connected and rooted. Lift up with the spine. Roll the shoulders down. Chest open. Trying to send the knees towards the floor. Breathing deeply. So here at the start of class, we really tried to foster that connection between the heart and the womb, so we can connect back in with that energy now in this position, just to really kind of top and tail the practice and really connect with those energies. So if you have your hands on your feet and you felt like you wanted to, again, bring your hands to those points, you could release the hands and place them one over the womb, one over the heart. Just for a few breaths. Okay, so if you want as well, we can add a couple of little twists here. So a nice gentle open twist for second half of the cycle, just laying your right arm just onto your right knee, left hand to the floor behind, lift and lengthen and twist through the spine and gaze behind. If you want to go a little deeper, take the right hand across the body to the outside, to maybe the left knee or the outside of the left thigh, and you're still turning the same way, but we're just making it a little bit deeper. Okay, back to center and do your twist on the other side. Remember to lift and lengthen the spine and gaze over your shoulder. Okay, back round to the front. Use your hands just to bring your knees together and just give your legs a little wobble and give your ankles a little roll, because sometimes that's quite a intense one into the ankles. Okay, and now you're ready for final relaxation, all right? So get yourself really cozy and comfortable and we'll do our final relaxation. So don't skip this bit out. It's really important for rest and digest, parasympathetic nervous system, decreasing those stress hormones and just really, really relaxing. So thank you so much for putting up with me and my dodgy electricity supply tonight. I'm really sorry. But as I say, I'm going over here so that you can get your full session, all right? So I'm going to do alternative nostril breathing, okay? But it's usually when I get you into relaxation, I say close your eyes. But I'd like you to keep them open. You you will eventually be able to shut them. In fact, you will not be able to resist shutting them by the time we get to that point, okay? So I want you to make yourself nice and comfortable, lying on your back, perhaps a pillow under your head, perhaps a blanket over you. Make any last minute adjustments you need to make, okay? And as I said, eyes are open, and I want you to look steadily at the tip of your nose. So just trust me with this, okay? It can feel really weird and funny, but it's really, really good for guiding you into a really deep state of relaxation. And it's really good for just tapping into your subconscious. So after we get you super relaxed, we're going to do some really nice positive affirmations for you, okay? So as you're looking at the tip of your nose, you may find you can see one side of it with one eye and the other side of your nose with your other eye. And that's fine, because I want you to alternate your focal points soon as we practice this yogic breath. So if you're ready, I want you to concentrate now on your breathing. And imagine that you're breathing in through the left nostril. Just breathing in through the left nostril. And as you do that, I wonder if you can use the right eye to see the right side of the nose. And then you're holding the breath for a moment or two before you breathe slowly out of the left nostril. Okay. Now imagine you're breathing in through the right nostril. And as you breathe in through the right nostril, use the left eye to look at the left side of the nose and hold the breath for a moment or two and let go. Just let go. Now breathe in again through the left nostril and hold for a moment whilst you look at the right side of your nose with your right eye. And then breathe the air out of the left nostril. And I want you to continue alternating the breathing of air in alternative nostrils whilst you switch eyes to look at the opposite side of the nose. And hold each breath for a moment or two. And then breathe out of the same nostril you breathed in through. And as you concentrate on alternating the breathing of air in those nostrils and switching eyes to look at the other side of the nose, you are aware of your body lying in your little yoga space, breathing air in alternative nostrils, and you find that each breath takes you deeper into deep relaxation, deeper into that peaceful feeling, deeper and deeper. And as you go deeper into deep relaxation, you are listening to the sound of my voice, but my words may become obscure from time to time as you go deeper and deeper. However, your subconscious mind listens at a deeper level and you find that your eyes are beginning to get so tired and heavy. So tired, so heavy, so relaxed. And how wonderful it would be, would it not, to just let them close. Just let them relax. Relax whilst you listen to the sound of my voice. Just trust in the sound of my voice as you go deeper and deeper into deep relaxation. And it's a wonderful feeling to relax, and you feel so comfortable. Your body is becoming heavier and heavier. Your arms and hands feel like lead weights. Your legs and feet are relaxed and heavy, and you go deeper and deeper into gentle, peace-filled rest. And if your eyes are not already closed, you can let them close now, and they feel so much more comfortable closed. And it takes no effort at all to let them remain closed as you listen to the sound of my voice. Relax, relax, let go. Now look up to the screen of your mind just above the center of your eyes, where your pineal gland lies, and let go. And on this screen of your mind, you see a door, and the door opens for you, and you go through, finding yourself at the top of a very long staircase. And you begin to descend. Go deeper and deeper, and still deeper. You just watch yourself going deeper into deep relaxation, eyes becoming heavy, legs and hands like lead weights. You go deeper now, deeper into that wonderful, relaxing feeling. Deeper and deeper. And as you reach the bottom of the staircase, you find yourself in a beautiful place to relax. And as you relax and allow yourself to become even more comfortable, you're aware of shapes and colors of images forming in your subconscious mind, but you find yourself going deeper still until the shapes and images subside and are replaced by an inky blackness. Just imagine that inky blackness there in your mind as you drift down to the very center of your being. Your subconscious mind rises as your consciousness descends. And you're listening entirely with your subconscious mind now. And each and every suggestion that I make penetrates into the depths of your subconscious mind. And you feel an overwhelming compulsion to relax completely. I am healthy and whole and full of love. I am thankful for all that I am and all that I have. I am at peace. I am fertile. My body is a fertile place worthy of conception. I feel safe, supported, and loved through my fertility journey. And you don't have to consciously remember those affirmations because your subconscious mind listens at a much deeper level. So that's fine. You can just continue to enjoy the rest of your relaxation. Okay? So when you decide you feel relaxed enough and you want to move out of this state, then we don't do it abruptly. We do it very, very calmly and respectfully to our bodies. We shift ourselves out very slowly, almost as slowly as you went in. Okay? So I am bringing my hands into a prayer position and I'm bowing to you. And I'm saying thank you so much for coming and for continuing to come week on week to these sessions, okay? So thank you very much. I'll leave the music running as I always do for a little while. And yeah, I'm here next week, haven't I? So I'll hopefully see you all next week, okay?